Movement and shift in demand. We will be examining the factors that determine demand and the graphical representation of those factors. The factors that determine or influence demand include price, income, advertising, taste, and fashion. These factors are categorized into two, namely price factor and non-price factors. The price factor causes a movement along the demand curve, while the non-price factors lead to a shift in the demand curve. Movement along the demand curve. A movement along the demand curve is caused by a change in a product's price. It can be an upward or a downward movement. A movement along the demand curve results in a change in the quantity demanded of a product. This is why it is referred to as a change in the quantity demanded. If the price of a product falls, there will be a downward movement along the demand curve, which will increase the quantity demanded of the product. In the diagram, a fall in price from P1 to P2 causes the quantity demanded to increase from Q1 to Q2. This downward movement along the demand curve is also known as an extension of demand because the quantity demanded rises. An increase in the price of a good leads to an upward movement along the demand curve. This will cause a decrease in the quantity demanded of the product. In the diagram, as the price increases from P1 to P2, the quantity demanded falls from Q1 to Q2. This is known as a contraction of demand because a rise in the price of a product causes a decrease in the quantity demanded. A shift in the demand curve is caused by other factors apart from a good's price. The non-price factors that cause a shift in the demand curve include income, advertising, consumer expectation, weather, prices of related products, population, taste, and fashion. These factors are also known as conditions of demand. A shift in demand is also referred to as a change in demand. A rightward shift of the demand curve means the demand has increased, while a leftward shift indicates a decrease in demand. Let's consider the non-price factors, also called the conditions of demand. The first one is income. A rise in income will lead to an increase in demand because consumers can now buy more. This is indicated by a rightward shift in the demand curve. A fall in income, however, will cause the demand curve to shift leftwards. Income taxes have a major influence on people's incomes. A rise in taxation, for instance, will reduce disposable income and cause demand to fall. Disposable income is income after the deduction of tax. Note that the price of the product remains unchanged when there is a shift. Let's consider another factor, taste and fashion. When a product has become more fashionable or consumers' tastes have changed in favor of that product, there will be an increase in demand for the product. The demand curve, as a result, will shift to the right. A less fashionable cloth, for example, becomes less popular among the consumers. Consequently, the demand curve will shift to the left because demand will decrease. Advertising is another factor. A successful advertising creates awareness and increases the demand for a product, thereby causing a rightward shift in the demand curve. A business can popularize its products by advertising on social media directly or by using influencers that endorse its products. Prices of related products. Related products are either substitutes or complements. Substitutes can replace each other, for example, Coke and Pepsi. Complements are goods that are used together, for example, tables and chairs. A fall in the price of a substitute, such as Coke, will cause a leftward shift in the demand curve for a product such as Pepsi. This is because people will switch to the cheaper alternative if the price of a complement such as chair rises. The demand for a product such as table will drop because both are used together. Therefore, the demand curve for table will shift leftwards. Another factor is population. A rise in population increases demand while a fall reduces demand. In addition, a change in the population of a particular age group will cause a change in the demand for the product used by such age group. For example, a rise in the population of babies will increase the demand for baby food, diapers, and toys. Consumer expectation. If consumers expect prices to rise, they will demand more of the product now, leading to a rise in demand or a rightward shift in the demand curve. An expectation of a fall in price, however, would reduce the demand now. The next factor we are considering is weather. Weather affects the demand for some products. For example, more winter jackets are demanded when the weather is cold. When the weather is hot, people buy more ice cream and cold drinks.